Hello, West Ham Network. It's Holly, and today we're going to be asking a pretty no-nonsense question about our upcoming games. How many points do we need to be getting? Let's go! So today we're going to be chatting it through. How many points do we need to be getting from our upcoming games? Our performance against Wolves was uninspiring, to say the least. We've been desperately wanting to see players start shining, to find some momentum, and I've been hoping that a couple of weeks off might have helped the team to find their swing, get in the swing of things, find their feet. That's what I was trying to say, especially for those that weren't away on international break. But unfortunately, that does not seem to have been the case. And some of the stats we're seeing are really starting to paint a picture of our biggest challenge. We had 9 shots and only one of these on target, highlighting how much we're struggling to convert any chances that we do get, with Ferguson missing a chance and Souček missing an absolute sitter. And while we might not be playing incredibly, it's moments like these that can really rescue points, even when you don't deserve them. We've all had a smash and grab, usually involving Souček, but these chances just weren't falling for us. And then you look at our goal scoring to back this up further. In our last 9 league games, we have scored only 6 goals. But it's not the fault of all of those up front. It's very telling of a slow, predictable midfield, which is making us suffer as well. We've spoken endlessly about how important it is for us to really reinvigorate that midfield. We need to inject that pace. We need to start being creative with the way that we move the ball. Otherwise, it's going to continue to stop us being able to get the ball up that pitch. And it's just going to keep becoming a problem where it means that we can't attack in the ways that we need to. And then we look at defence, and most of the goals we've conceded are split seconds, switching off, missing someone, not marking up properly, laziness, silly decisions to push up and not be able to track back, whatever it may be. Split second decisions are costing us, and when we're not able to attack well enough or score and be clinical well enough, you can't take these risks, and ultimately it means you're going to get a draw if you're lucky, and sometimes you're going to be losing. So the big question that I have today is, how can we finish the end of this season as well as possible? And the answer is simple: by turning things around. Do I think we can do it? I think there is going to come a time where things are going to click, and I think it'll be under Potter. But I'm just hoping that it can come before we strengthen the squad in the summer. We've spoken endlessly about the need for this clear out in the summer, but realistically, right now, we're in a position where we can't bring in more players. We have who we have, but should they be performing better than they currently are? I think so. Can they click better than they currently are? I think so. And will that come with hard work? I really hope so. Now, it's time to chat through how many points I think we're going to need to get over our next 4 games so that we can start to end the season on a bit more of a high. I'm not expecting miracles here. We've got Bournemouth at home, Liverpool away, Southampton at home, and Brighton away. 2 home, 2 away. 3 teams that you'd like to say we had a decent chance against, and Liverpool is going to be a bit of a challenge. In my opinion, I want to know your thoughts. So in the comments section, let me know how many points you think we should be getting from that and why. So like I said, Bournemouth at home, Liverpool away, Southampton at home, and Brighton away. I think we've got to be getting 6 points from these games minimum, because Bournemouth have not won within 90 minutes in their last 6 games, coming off the back of a defeat that knocked them out of the FA Cup against Man City. So this has got to be a 3-pointer for us. Liverpool away is going to be pretty impossible to get anything from the way that we've been attacking, defending, and midfielding, if you can call it that. We know that Liverpool are obviously in form, so I'm going to say that we will get the loss there. Southampton sit right at the bottom of the Premier League. They are going down, and they've been struggling to get goals as well as struggling to defend. So if ever there was an opportunity, this was it. But also, if there was ever an opportunity for West Ham to slip up and us be like, oh, of course they've beaten us, unfortunately, I have a fear that this could also be it. But not getting 3 points and hopefully also improving our goal difference significantly would be an absolute waste against Southampton. So I'm saying that we have got to get 3 points there. Then Brighton away is another technically winnable game if we turn up on the day. But after they lost 7-0 to Forest back on the 1st of February, they found their form. Of course they have. They've beaten Chelsea 2-1 in the FA Cup and then 3-0 in the Premier League. They've beaten Southampton 4-0, Bournemouth 2-1, Newcastle 2-1 in the FA Cup, Fulham 2-1. They drew 2-2 with Man City, and then they got knocked out in the FA Cup quarter-finals on penalties with an incredibly in-form Forest before going on to face Villa at home. So they're not going to be easy to beat. They have been performing well in most of their recent fixtures. and I've got a feeling that we might struggle to get anything against Brighton. We know they've always been a little bit of a bogey team for us, haven't they? However, I hope we can get something. So given those fixtures, anything less than 6 points, I think, will be a huge loss and really telling of what else we can do with the rest of the season. Because if you're not beating teams like Southampton and you're not beating teams like Bournemouth, it's very difficult to see where you can pick points up against the teams that are technically supposed to be harder. I completely understand as well. We are going through a transition as a team, and we've got a lot of reinforcements that need bringing in over the summer. There are injuries that we're trying to work around. But beating an out-of-form Bournemouth and bottom of the league, struggling, definitely going down Southampton, both at home, is something that I feel like we really have to be doing. And the players need to go out to war. We need to go to absolute war in these games because we can't be letting results like that not go our way. The players just need to run themselves into the ground, in my opinion, make things happen, work harder than them, because both of those sides will crack under pressure. If you're closing down well, they don't have the tactical ability to stop that becoming a problem for them or a challenge. And if we just mark up well, just don't switch off, just stay switched on, I feel like we can also beat them defensively, and we could start to see that bit of momentum that we've been desperate to see, and actually start to see things gelling a little bit. Again, like we've said it so many times, but that is my hope. 6 points over the next 4 games, bare minimum. I'm hoping for 9. I mean, I'd love to see 12, but Liverpool's definitely going to be a difficult one. Like I said, I want to know your thoughts. How many points do you think that we need to be realistically aiming to get from those next 4 games? Because it is getting a little bit serious. And if we start going to the end of the season just with this horrific form, it's going to be a lot harder to fix things. This is our opportunity to almost treat this like a preseason, a really extended preseason for next season, because we have talented players there. Some of them are massively underperforming to the fact that we're saying they need to be part of this massive clear out. So if these players want to stay, this is their chance to prove why and what they can do at West Ham. And at the same time, this is just the time where we need to just give everything, because if we can then say, here's the list of players that we want to keep, here's the list of players that need to go because they're not just good enough, we can be ready to hit the ground running. We can work on getting those reinforcements almost lined up before the transfer window opens. We can act quickly, and we almost start pre-season with half the team performing as we need them to be, at the level that we need them to be, and the new ones can come in, slot in, and have a good long pre-season under Potter where we can then take it to the next level. But it's so important in periods of transition, especially like this. We saw it happen at Chelsea. They needed new players. They brought in loads of players. But if you're not bringing in the right players, you can lose your identity, you can lose the vision, and you can also lose the direction that you're going in as a team. Something that I believe Mark Noble brought to West Ham, which we haven't had since, is just that togetherness and that feeling of what it means to play for West Ham. I think if you bring in an entirely new squad, you do lose that. You don't have those leaders that are already sort of established there. And with that, it can bring a lot of problems. So I'm hoping that we start to see even some of these youngsters just step up, make it yours, because we are literally begging these players to make it theirs, to stamp their mark, make their mark, whatever you want to call it, and just take West Ham to where we should be able to perform. So what I'm trying to say is I have hope that we can turn things around by the end of the season. I think these games are going to be really important because we need to start beating the teams that we really should be beating, and we need to start overperforming rather than just underwhelming meh performances. So let us know your thoughts. How many points in the next 4 games? Like I said, they are against Bournemouth at home, Liverpool away, Southampton at home, and Brighton away. Let us know. Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already to support the channel. If you're new around here, subscribe to West Ham Network. Let's get that debate going down in that comment section. How many points and why? And I will catch up with you soon. Till next time, enjoy that sunshine. Have a great day. And come on, you Irons. Irons. Irons.